Dunkaroos. Dunkaroos were introduced by Betty Crocker in 1990 as kangaroo-shaped graham crackers sold with a small container of frosting for dipping. They were discontinued in the United States in 2012 while remaining available in Canada, which caused Americans to smuggle them across the border in quantities that customs agents began tracking. General Mills brought them back to the American market in 2020 after a social media campaign demonstrated that demand had never disappeared. A discontinued snack that required international smuggling to obtain became a nostalgia product worth relaunching. The kangaroo on the packaging never changed, neither did the frosting ratio that everyone remembers as perfect. Lunchables. Lunchables were invented by Bob Drain at Oscar Mayer in 1988 as a solution to a specific market problem. Working mothers needed a lunch option that required no preparation. The original contained crackers, processed cheese, and lunch meat. Oscar Mayer launched it nationally and sold 100 million units in the first year. The pizza version, introduced in the 1990s, became the most ordered school lunch item of the decade. Nutritionists criticized the sodium content. Parents bought them anyway because children ate them without complaint. A marketing solution to working parents' time constraints accidentally became one of the defining food memories of an entire generation. Gushers. Gushers were introduced by General Mills in 1991 as fruit snacks with a liquid center that burst when bitten. The television commercials showed children's heads transforming into giant fruit after eating them, which was either terrifying or appealing depending on the child. The liquid center required a specific manufacturing process that encased fruit syrup inside a gelatin shell without the shell dissolving during storage. Food scientists at General Mills spent significant time solving this structural problem. The result was a snack that delivered a physical sensation no other candy produced. A burst of liquid fruit syrup in the mouth at exactly the moment of first bite created a loyalty that has lasted 30 years. Surge was Coca-Cola's answer to Mountain Dew, launched in 1996 as a citrus soda with significantly higher sugar and caffeine content than standard sodas. Coca-Cola positioned it specifically against Mountain Dew in the youth market, with aggressive advertising showing extreme sports and the tagline, "Feed the Rush." Mountain Dew outsold it regardless. Coca-Cola discontinued Surge in 2003. A Facebook group called Surge Movement accumulated over 130,000 members demanding its return. Coca-Cola brought Surge back in 2014 exclusively through Amazon, selling out the initial inventory within hours. A failed soda that lost a market battle became a nostalgia product with a dedicated fan base 20 years after its failure. Crystal Pepsi. Crystal Pepsi was launched nationally in 1992 based on market research showing consumers associated clear beverages with purity and healthiness. The formula was essentially regular Pepsi without caramel coloring. It tasted like Pepsi, it looked like water. Consumers found this combination confusing rather than appealing. Crystal Pepsi was discontinued in 1994 after less than 2 years. It became one of the most studied product failures in business school marketing courses as an example of misreading consumer psychology. Pepsi relaunched it as a limited nostalgia product in 2016. People who remembered hating it bought it anyway. Nostalgia overrides memory of the original experience with remarkable consistency. Pizza rolls. Pizza rolls were invented by Gino Paolucci in 1968 as a frozen egg roll variation filled with pizza ingredients. Totino's acquired the product and scaled distribution nationally. By the 1990s, pizza rolls had become a standard after-school snack heated in microwaves across America. The interior of a pizza roll reaches temperatures significantly higher than the exterior during microwave heating, which is why the warning to let them cool exists on every package and why nobody reads it. Burned mouths from impatient pizza roll consumption is a shared childhood experience for an entire generation of Americans who understood the warning theoretically, but not practically. Cosmic Brownies. Cosmic Brownies were introduced by Little Debbie in 1999 as fudgy chocolate brownies topped with chocolate ganache and small rainbow candy-coated chocolate pieces called Cosmic Sprinkles. The texture is denser and more fudgy than homemade brownies because the formula uses more fat and less flour than a standard recipe. Little Debbie sells Cosmic Brownies for significantly less than the cost of making equivalent brownies from scratch when labor is factored in. College students rediscovered them in the 2010s as a premium value snack. A 1999 children's snack became a college dorm staple because the price-to-satisfaction ratio is genuinely difficult to beat at any budget level. Hot Pockets. Hot Pockets were invented in 1983 by brothers Paul and David Mirage, who wanted to create a microwavable sandwich that stayed crispy instead of soggy. The solution was a specialized pastry crust using a susceptor, a material that converts microwave energy into direct radiant heat. The product launched nationally and became one of the fastest-selling frozen foods in American history. Jim Gaffigan's 2005 comedy bit about Hot Pockets generated over 50 million views and became more famous than any advertisement the brand had ever produced. A food scientist's microwave engineering solution became a comedy punchline that functioned as a decade of free advertising for a product the comedian was mocking. Ring Pops. Ring Pops were invented in 1979 by Frank Richards, a Topps candy employee who was trying to create a candy that would help his daughter stop sucking her thumb. The solution was a large lollipop mounted on a plastic ring that occupied the finger instead. The thumb-sucking problem was not solved. The candy was enormously successful. Ring Pops became a staple of American candy culture through the 1980s and 1990s, worn on fingers at school and used as edible jewelry. A candy invented as a behavioral modification tool for one child became a cultural accessory for millions. Frank Richards' daughter's thumb-sucking status was never publicly disclosed. Flamin Hot Cheetos. Flamin Hot Cheetos contain red 40 and yellow 6, synthetic dyes that the European Union requires to carry a specific warning label stating a coloring may have an adverse effect on activity and attention in children. Most European manufacturers reformulate products sold in EU markets to avoid the warning label entirely, switching to natural colorants like paprika extract or beetroot. American Flamin' Hot Cheetos use the synthetic version without modification because no warning label requirement exists in the United States. The same snack, sold under the same name, carries a government-mandated health warning in one country and no warning whatsoever in another. Fruit by the foot. Fruit by the Foot was introduced by General Mills in 1991 as a 3-foot-long strip of fruit-flavored candy rolled into a compact package. The 3-foot length was a deliberate marketing decision. Children measured it against their bodies to demonstrate its length before eating it. The eating ritual, unrolling and consuming the strip rather than biting pieces off, created a distinctive consumption experience no other candy produced. General Mills included temporary tattoos in some packages that could be applied by pressing the moist candy strip against skin. A candy that doubled as temporary body art and a measuring instrument was always going to succeed with children.